I'm Janika Renee here with a personal in-depth interview with fashion designer Michael Lopez. How are you today?
I'm doing all right in yourself?
I'm pretty good. So, we talked off the record about things and how you believe that a company is different from a brand. Tell me, what exactly is your company?
Yes, my company is Cashmir Clothing. It's a semi-couture brand. I feel as though it's much different between a company and a brand. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people feel as though that if they have a company, that company is their brand, and that's not particularly the case. A brand can be a celebrity. A brand can be like Coca-Cola is a particular brand. A company can be, I'm a hairstylist and I do hair out of my house or something like that.
Right.
Definitely a difference. A brand pretty much has its own identity. And that's where Cashmere or the Cashmere Go, as seen in my logo, has its own identity.
All right. So what exactly drove you to being interested in fashion?
I guess the drive that pretty much motivated me to be interested in fashion was the lack of drive that motivated me to be into fashion. At a younger age, I was not the person that enjoyed clothes. I was not the person that enjoyed fashion. I actually used to get picked on a lot about the lack of fashion that I had.
Really?
Yeah, like really, really bad. Like kids are cruel. But it got to the point where I enjoyed it. I loved seeing other people, and I never thought that I would be the person that would be the dresser or be the trendsetter. So as I got older, I pretty much gave up that aspect of life and said, okay, I'm going to be the geek. I'm going to be the accountant, the mathematical, expert. And that part of my life is just going to be envious of what I envy of other people. As I got older and started realizing certain trends, I started picking it up. It started being like a mathematical equation to me. And I started realizing, wow, people fail to realize that this is so simple. It's so predictable when it comes down to trends, or it comes down to repeated things that keeps getting recycled, especially trends that keeps getting recycled. So I started to try to figure it out in advance.
Right.
So I would see an older trend or research something, or talk to my grandmother, talk to my mother about something that they used to do, and would try to find it and wear it. And wear it in advance to say, oh, okay, so maybe people think it's cool again. For a while, it didn't work. For a while, I was just being weird.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, but I landed a big break about my high school career. I started still doing accounting, and I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, so I was actually working for an amazing designer. I gotta put his name out there, but very huge brand. And when I was working for him, doing actually accounting work, I was a project manager. So therefore, I had to calculate advertisements, calculate commercials, runaway shows, and make sure they had enough budget to get it done.
Right.
I guess being tall and skinny actually worked for a change. I was asked to model for a runway show. And that's when when I realized the designers and the models, I was like, they're getting paid either more than I am for having fun. So my passion kind of grew from that aspect, and I just transitioned.
That's good. So can you describe your clothing? Like, what type of clothing do you have?
Yes, definitely. It's 3 words that I would definitely describe in my clothing. One would be sophistication, one is classy, and the other is very important, edgy.
Edgy.
Yes.
Explain that. There's a lot of definitions.
Yeah, definitely a lot of definition of edgy. I feel as though that my clothes represents a certain genre of people. The entrepreneur that is very well in life, as far as spiritual, as far as motivating. They want to be very artistic, but they may be so wrapped up inside the public life of being sophisticated and wearing a business suit. But when they get off of work, they add the color to it, the pop of color. They're always wanting to go out, have a good time, enjoy life, enjoy the scenery. That's pretty much the identification of my clothing of Cashmere. Because even though sophistication, I may take a blazer or a button up or something in that manner and kind of add funky colors to it, funky fabric to it, add something that brings it to life, gives that little twist.
Okay. I like that. So what describes Michael Lopez other than just a fashion designer?
boring, I would say. I think Cashmere is, it's what I envision life to be like.
Right.
If I didn't have to worry about money, if I didn't have to worry about time, if I only had to worry and focus on living life, that's Cashmere. If I had to add life into the mix, that's Michael Lopez. That's pretty much me dealing with wanting to relax, after coming from a runaway show and all the hustle and bustle. And I love going to see them. I love participating in them. I love what I do. But just going home, having a glass of wine, watching TV. I love romantic comedies actually, so it's kind of crazy. So watching those, and just sitting back, reflecting on life and getting a better understanding of life and realizing that everything is fashion, not only the clothes that you wear.
So does being a fashion designer sneak its way into being the boring person that you say you are? Like, how do you deal with that? Do you prefer to be more boring, or?
It's a preference. Sometimes I try to, add a little more interest into my life. Go out. But yeah, that's when fashion definitely gets involved. One thing I realized, fashion is everything.
Right.
So fashion is not only the clothes that you wear, the makeup that people wear, the accessories. Fashion is the art. So I love art shows. I love poetry. Fashion is, the poetic aspect of interchanging words to rhythm, music, voice, vocals. It's so much different things that can be fashionable. So I realized when I go out, I may be having a good time, partying, and then realizing, ooh, I like that painting right there. That painting reminds me of a dress I was thinking about sewing, or
right.
Something I was thinking about designing. Or I would look outside and just going for a stroll and saying, oh wow, I love the skyscrapers that was there, or I love the mountains, when I'm in the South. That reminds me of this design.
Yeah.
So I always keep a pad on me. My memory is horrible. So I always make sure I keep a pen or pad on my iPad or my cell phone or something. And I'll even text myself. Like, I have my number programmed in my phone to text myself and let myself know. Okay,
really?
Don't remember this. Like, don't forget. Remember this. Here, take a picture. And I'll look back at it and say, okay, Michael. I told myself not to forget this. So.
Okay, so in your free time, you like to watch romantic comedies and go for walks and look at paintings, or what exactly do you do in your free time?
You make me sound really boring.
No, I don't.
Walks in the park and
no, that's fun. I do that on my own. I'm a very boring person myself, so it's fun.
It can be fun at times, but definitely, I think the fashion industry is so live, and a lot of people that's not into fashion view us as being so energetic.
Right.
That in my spare time, I want to be the opposite of energetic. I want to save my energy. I want to reserve my energy to say, okay, now it's time for me to just enjoy. I love interacting with people. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. So I'm always on social media, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, and communicating with them. A lot of times I don't add friends just to be adding them and just get a whole bunch of likes. So people say, Mike, you went all over the world and you only have this amount of followers. You only have this amount of people that communicate. But I know everyone.
Build connections.
If you inbox me, I'll inbox you. If you comment on my page, I'll try to make the time to say thank you. I appreciate it. You following me is very much appreciated, rather than you're just a number.
Right. That makes sense.
Especially if I see him out in like Walmart or something, and they're like,
hey.
Yeah, well, I know you. I think so.
That makes sense. So, why did you choose to come to Memphis? If you're from New York, you spend most of your time there, right?
Most of my life, yeah.
Right. And so you chose to come to Memphis and travel around states in the South.
Yeah, I guess it's from the movies. I watch them a lot and hear about the Southern hospitality. And I hear about the Southern hospitality. I was like, oh, you can say hi to somebody and they actually wave back at you. And it's just not like, oh, God, what are they doing?
Really?
New York is going to be a little harsh sometimes. We're always in a rush. But it just I gravitated to family. We traveled a lot to the South. My father's actually from Memphis, Tennessee. And my entire family, they're all entrepreneurs. Every last one of them. My grandmother had 12 kids, and out of 12 kids, 10 of them have their own company. So I kind of figured, if I want to be an entrepreneur, I need to come here. I need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mother was raised by my mother. Love you. Raised by my sister as well. I have a sister that's 10 years older than me, so she was really hands-on with life, and she
Right.
pretty much embedded me with the strong aspect. The okay, this is how you be a man. But one thing I realized is I can think, but as far as the physical going out there and getting it done, the only thing I knew was school. The only thing
Right.
I knew was high school. Finish high school, you go to college. That's just how it works. The option of having your own company is not an option. You work for a company and you work for a Fortune 500 company, you get your money and you live your life. So coming here, I wanted to move to Memphis to get in touch closer to my family and see the other aspect of saying, I can live a life and make my own life. You know, me being an accountant, it changed my life when I realized I can figure out how much money I'm making my entire life. You know, give or take a few $1,000s, based off of the industry that I'm in, based off of where I'm located, and how long I'm going to stay there before I retire. I didn't want my life to be that predictable. I didn't want to know by the time I'm 70, 80, you know, God forbid, something happens, but I actually make it there, that this is how much money I'm going to have in my bank account. No, I want to go ahead and fluctuate that money, elevate it, multiply it. And
That makes sense.
that's why I'm here in the South.
Okay, so now that you've decided to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, what do you plan to bring to their market?
I plan on bringing evolution to their market. I feel as though that Charlotte, a lot of times people say Charlotte's the new Atlanta. I've been to Charlotte. I went to college out there. I feel as though Charlotte is possibly the new New York.
Right.
There's a lot of New Yorkers there. And definitely after 9/11, a lot of people moved the banking industry downtown Charlotte. I loved it when I went to college out there. I loved it. I've spent a few years in high school down there as well, and realized it's a metropolitan city. They have so much surrounding them. They have Atlanta surrounding them, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, so many different locations
Mhm.
that you can reach. And when I was in college, I was boring. I didn't travel. I very rarely ever went to Atlanta. You know, just picked up my car and went, and realized they can evolve so much because it's such a metropolitan city that they can surpass Atlanta. You know, just because of the resources that they have, and that's what I plan on bringing there. Just something different, just hope in general, a hope of somebody saying, rather than I'm in Charlotte, I need to move to New York in order to get this done. No, people from New York is moving here,
To
so that
Charlotte.
means something is actually going on here, and we can actually make it happen.
That makes sense. So how has achieving so much success so early in your career affected your view of your clothing and the fashion world in general?
Success, that's a word in itself. Um, ooh, I guess I never put it that way as far as me gaining success.
Mhm.
One thing that someone told me when I was younger is you're not successful till you're in a position to make other people successful.
Okay.
And one thing I really, I really hold pride to that statement, because I want to remain humble as possible. Now, the exposure that I've been getting and the accolades that I've been receiving is well appreciated, and the way it's been manipulated inside of my clothes, I'm less scared. I have less fears of saying, okay, I need to do something that's similar to someone else. Now I'm more confident to say I can do something completely different, and it's okay. People like different. The different clothes that I've done, whether it's my Euro button up, which is a signature piece, or
Mhm.
my Parisian pleat dress, which is completely different than any other dresses that's been made, or especially handmade, because it takes up a lot of time, a lot of craft. I can put that out there and feel confident. Either you like it, and I hope you do, or you don't, and I appreciate that. But there's so much other brands out here for you to be able to wear.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not nervous of saying, oh, I have to make something like this in order to get it sold. I'm not concerned about selling. I haven't even actually put my clothes on the market. I've been just runway, print, showcasing magazines, publications,
Mm-hmm.
just to show people this is what I'm capable of doing. And when it gets to that point, because I'm very, very patient in certain aspects, but when it does get to that point, hopefully the whole world will be able to see it.
I believe they will. I really do. So which fashion icons do you look up to the most?
So many, like an abundance just came to mind. I'm
I'm
gonna go ahead and say My number one, I love Marc Jacobs.
And why?
Marc Jacobs is like, he's my mentor without being my mentor, really. We ever meet each other, you're my mentor. But primarily because of everything he does outside of fashion. A lot of people fail to realize that Marc Jacobs designs for other companies. He does a lot of the branding, a lot of the marketing for other companies that are well known, and he's behind the scenes, but he's still a designer. He built his company primarily to say, this is what I can do to help you.
Right.
And I think that characteristic, so that character trait is something that I admire about him. And then he's really good at what he does. He didn't come from a background of, I have all this money, my family has all this money, my people have all this money, so here, I'm doing luxury. He built luxury from the ground up, created it, maintained, his icon status, and I really appreciate it. Another person that I'm going to say is Calvin Klein.
Right.
Calvin Klein helped me in so many different ways. His brand, his company, his business has helped me transition and finding out that you have to do your research, you have to market, you have to know your target audience, and you can't budge. And sometimes it's going to cause you to change yourself. I used to be, young, a young kid that had a particular type of crowd that I would hang around. It wasn't the best crowd at all. And fashion helped me transition. Calvin Klein and being a part of everything that he has to offer pretty much helped me to say, I need to transition, I need to evolve, I need to mature, and I need to grow up. Especially if I want to make clothes for grown-ups, I need to be a grown-up myself. And it definitely transitioned and saved my life in a lot of aspects. Now, there's so much, plenty others that a lot of people don't fail to realize, don't know. Awake, it's a designer or a group of designers that are very, very good, very, very talented. And I feel as though they don't have the exposure that they should.
Right.
But they do a lot of New York Fashion Weeks and travel, and I just look up to them. I look up to, honestly, as far as just putting out, to close out question, you're talking so much, but as far as designers, I look up to a lot of local designers because of their passion, because of their drive, because of everything that they have to go through. I was talking to a designer yesterday, and she's a single mother. And we was just sitting there talking, and I was like, you have it way harder than I do, because you sitting there have to drag your child, have nobody to help. She's like, she didn't have any family or anything. And it inspired me to say, regardless of anything that I go through or anything that I'm going through right now, everybody has their own struggles. Everybody has their own situations or their own things holding them back. I can't allow anything to hold me back.
That's good. You're very inspiring yourself, so
Well, thank you.
I'm really hoping it works out for you well. But you've met a lot of celebrities and you've been to a lot of events. Which celebrities that you've met and which events stand out to you the most?
It would have to be my recent ones, actually. All right, I didn't get an opportunity to meet him. Hopefully I will really, really soon. But I just had an opportunity to design a shirt for Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Inside of Memphis City Box. It's part of the Maiden company, and I honestly think that the company is a great idea. Bringing tourists into the area and introducing them to something local.
Right.
But I got the phone call and immediately said yes before I even know what they was asking me for. Like, I need somebody to hold his bar. I was like, yes, I'll do that. But I think Bruno Mars pretty much has the personality, has the character traits that defines Cashmir. And we made a Hawaiian t-shirt for him. So I really, really appreciated that. I included part of my collection. It was a Parisian pleat. So therefore it was a hand pleated, like it had hand pleat panels there. Of course had the Hawaiian theme to go with this, that's where it's from. Also another celebrity I would say is absolutely adorable is Seven Streeter. I had an opportunity. I have an opportunity to work with her actually in Jackson, Mississippi, and she's just so down to earth, so humble, and so funny.
Really?
She's hilarious. Like, we being up there, a lot of the people wasn't able to take pictures with her, and we caught each other like leaving the bathroom, and our bodyguard was like, "Oh, hold up. I like your clothes, but okay, where you going?" And she was just like, "No, come over here." We was laughing and joking. We joked about one of her songs before her album came out. So a few of her songs actually.
Right.
If you don't have the album, definitely get it, because it's funny. She's been through some stuff, but I think that she is definitely hilarious. I look forward to working with a lot more artists. Don't get me wrong, I love my hip hop artists as well. I just did an outfit for Michael Lopez, which is actually in LA right now, and I wish you the best of luck with all his endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
But he's working with a Grammy-nominated producer, so working with him and a lot of local artists definitely is a great thing as well.
Oh, so when you hear the accomplishments associated with your name, how does that make you feel?
Like a little kid. Like, I'm just like, really? I did that? And sometimes I have to write it down to say, that's a lot. And just really appreciative. But it gives me more motivation. It gives me motivation to say, okay, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done so much. These accomplishments can motivate somebody. If they can't motivate me enough to want to do more. I want to take it to a whole other level. And then I'm never satisfied. Like, I'm never complacent with life. So therefore, I feel as though that with all the accomplishments, I can always do more. If I do this magazine, now I want to do this magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I do that, work with that celebrity, now I want to work with all of these celebrities, And that's pretty much the motivation that hearing these accomplishments, after the
the little kid feeling.
Yeah, after that, it's really just like, okay, now it's time to put the game face back on.
Right. So who motivates you? Who do you attribute your success to?
My biggest motivation is God. I feel as though that He needs to be your best friend.
Right.
Because people come and go in your life. Whether it's girlfriend, whether it's boyfriend, family. There's a lot of fathers that out there leave, and I'm, blessed that my father was able to reach out and want to get back into my life. But at the end of the day, right before you go to sleep, regardless if you're married, regardless, how your social status is, right before you close your eyes, it's just you and God.
Mm.
Right when you open your eyes, it's just you and God. So you have to build that foundation with Him to say, okay, you're my best friend. What does best friends do? They motivate each other. You need to be my motivation. My motivation is to live for Him, because I've been in a lot of dangerous situations.
Mm.
I've gotten into several car accidents where I've witnessed death a lot in my lifetime. A lot of people passed away in front of my eyes, and it caused me to transition that I should have been dead a long time ago.
Right.
And with me realizing that, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you have a purpose. You have a purpose." I'm more saying, "Oh no, I died back then, and now I'm living for someone else."
Right.
So anybody that comes into my life, any motivation, I love my mother, love my grandmother, both of them, both sides of the family. Now that I know both sides of my family, they motivate me to want to build a foundation for them, for my future family, my future wife, my future kids. That's motivation, but realizing that none of that could be possible without God. So therefore, He's my motivation.
I appreciate that and I respect that a lot. So where do you see yourself in Cashmir in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I always tell people this, in regards to expanding, I want to be local everywhere.
Mm.
So therefore, I want to, like right now, we're expanding. So we have brand ambassadors throughout the U.S. right now.
Right.
We have 4 brand ambassadors that we're working with. We plan on expanding, depending on, their credentials, depending on, how we all wish well together. And in different areas, I can't call myself. Love to, but I
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it didn't work. But I figured the best way to do is have other people that are like-minded individuals to represent Cashmir as a brand. Mm-hmm. And that differentiates the difference between the company. It's not expanding the company, it's bringing awareness to the brand. And since I have these very, very talented individuals that are willing to, take the brand as their own, I feel as though that in 5 years, Cashmere will be in stores, plenty of stores, all local boutiques, major institutions, major stores, as well as several more magazines, on several runway models. I've worked with Vogue models. I've worked with America's Next Top models. But they keep having cycles. Vogue is continuously to print, so I want to get more. More there. America's Next Top Model, now they have the face. The more avenues they give me, I want to tackle each and every avenue, each and every market within my market. So in 5 years, I just plan on hopefully having Cashmere a household name, and people recognizing Michael Lopez for who I am. Probably a public speaker by then.
Hopefully. So in your journey so far as an entrepreneur and a fashion designer, is there any moment that you wish that you could change, that you look back on right now and you wish that you could change?
A moment as far as business, a moment as far as personal.
Business.
All right. Business, I can't say. One thing I wouldn't change because I wouldn't have any control over it, but I felt as though I felt like a golden child in the fashion industry. I felt as though that God put me in the position to meet the right people at the right time. I had everyone help me. A lot of people, when I first moved to Memphis, it was like, "Oh, be careful, be careful who you work with. Don't work with this person. Don't work with that person." And I was just like tone them out and still work with the person. And then I'm like, "Well, why not? That person's amazing." Or I wasn't burnt. I felt as though that it just kept improving. Now, when I first started the company, it wasn't even Cashmere. It was something completely different that I was like, I gotta roll that ball up and throw it away. But that was a stepping stone for me to organize things. I had to be in the right place in life in order to create Cashmere and make it the right company. So I wouldn't even change anything. I would just thank God and look at Him and say, why was it easier than it was for other people? I see a lot of people struggling. And I was fortunate enough to not have to deal with that, fortunate enough to have people believe in me, and I appreciate it,
You know why it's like that?
No.
I would say because you keep God first, and that's the most important thing to do. And your inspiration to others, your motivation to others, as long as you know that the quote that you said, to be successful, you're not successful unless you help other people be successful. I think that's what you're doing, and you're doing a great job with that. And I appreciate you. You're motivation and inspiration to myself to want to do better. So I thank you for that, and I love that you keep God first, and I pray that you continue to keep God first with everything you do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Is there anything that you want to let off or tell the people before we sign?
Well, one thing I wanted to mention, I think we briefly spoke about it in regards to my next step in life is actually I'm moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I love the South. That's me. I love the Southern hospitality. I'm real skinny. I don't know if the camera makes me seem a little bigger with my pictures, me modeling and things in that manner. But besides the Southern food and Southern cooking, but basically, I think the South has so much to offer. And I want to be a deciding factor in that market. So any and everybody that's willing to work with me, any and everybody that believes in what I'm saying, believes in the dream, just understand that branding is everything. And I try to get my brand out there as much as possible. I try to do a lot of collaborations. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm willing to collaborate with everyone, because you also got to take involved the branding. You also got to take involved the, this is my life, this is my business. So therefore, I need to maintain it monetarily. But I'm willing to, try to give advice wherever advice is needed. I've been through a lot, personal and professionally. And I have a lot to say. I have a lot of wisdom that I can help out, but I am also a listener. I'm able to sit down and listen to people. Right now, actually, I'm being mentored by the Denim magazine, I guess I call him crew. But Jason Bolin, which is a celebrity stylist, he has helped me out tremendously. Celebrity designer Lauren Nicole has pretty much took me under her wing, and I really, really appreciate her for that. Our new brand ambassador, Chanel Renee, has did so much just by believing in me and introducing me to a lot of the people. We have like so much different people. I'm trying to give like shout outs for the last minute, but Kamala Curran, which is our Memphis brand ambassador, or regional brand ambassador. She believed in me so much, and I really, really appreciate it. Makeup artist Dominic Cheney, Chris McElwain, this is my cousin, is gonna be in Charlotte. Aisha Johnson was actually one of the first people that introduced me to the aspect of saying you can do this.
Right.
She had, and I actually want to speak on that.
That's fine.
But she had a brother that was able to sew, and I'm not the best sewer at all. Don't get me wrong. Like, I appreciate all of the accolades that I get for designing clothes. I'm learning how to be a seamstress, so that's why I'm building this brand, and I'm extending out to different seamstresses, extending out to different companies. But her brother was amazing. He designed this one shirt that she wore, and I was just in awe. Like, and this has got to be it. You have got to be this company. It's been amazing to see. So it was like a family orientation thing. Now, unfortunately, he passed away right when we were just getting Cashmir off the ground. Before we were able to get everything, finalized. And when we did, his name was Michael as well. And I told her mother, Dad, you have another Michael through me. Now, of course, I'll never be him. But our passion keeps us connected. Fashion keeps us connected. I think fashion keeps a lot of people connected. Regardless of anything, like, the Michael Jordan brand, keeps everybody that's in line, to go get them. They're all connected in some way, form, or fashion. You may wear a certain designer and somebody else wears a certain designer, say, oh, I like that purse that you wear. That's a connection. Whether it's a spiritual connection, a fashion connection, that keeps people, united. And definitely for that family, for the Johnson family, it definitely kept us connected, kept motivation. And it was one of the aspects whenever I decided to say, gosh, I met this amazing designer today. I can't even step up to their abilities or their talent. I'm like, I have to. Because I'm not only living this life for me, as I stated before, I'm living this life for other people, including God. And if God says I can go there and do it, I'm going to go and do it. So I definitely wanted to leave that aspect there, because it was a motivation to me. And if anybody, now everybody knows the brand ambassadors that we have, like people that supported me and helped me, and I really appreciate them, so much. And everyone has their own company as well. So I want Cashmere to help them help themselves.
Right.
Help them branch off to their own aspects of fashion, but also motivate others, as they've been a motivation to me as well.
That is so nice. That is so nice, and I appreciate you coming to speak with me. And I wish you the best with everything you have going on. And, you're going to Charlotte, North Carolina, so be safe as well. And good luck with all your endeavors.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I am Janika Renee. This is
Michael Lopez for Cashmir.
Thank you so much, and that's a wrap.
The deal. Everybody ain't real, so all I can do is live, do my best, and pray for the rest. All I can do is live, do my best, and pray. All I can do is live, do my best, and pray for the rest. All I can do is live, do my best, and pray. Some things I can't control. All I can do is live and pray. All I can do is live, do my best, and pray for the rest. All I can do is live, do my best, and pray. All I can do is live, do my best, and pray for the rest.